From the game, I think the defense played really well. I think we created a lot of negative plays. I think we played sound. We ran to the ball, and we showed people that we was really physical. But I still think we left a lot of plays out there that could have been made.
The thing that really stood out to me defensively is New Mexico State had that one really good drive in the first quarter, and then you held them to -1 yards in the second quarter. So just how pleased were you with the defense's response after they went, pretty easily down the field on that one drive?
I just think with times like that when things hit the fan with our defense and with our team, we link together and we don't flinch, and it works out perfectly for us. And as you've seen, second quarter we came on and we did pretty impressive.
What do you see out of Tipa? I mean, what does he bring to your defensive team, and obviously a strip sack Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night.
I think Tipa's a game changer. I think he brings a lot of intensity for our defense. For instance, I love how he sacks the quarterback. He has it to where people will slide to him, and he gets other guys opportunities to get sacks as well. So I think Tipa's a really good game changer for our team.
How was the rushing defense? Did you make a step forward than feel like the Michigan State game?
Absolutely. I think from these last 2 weeks compared to last year, we showed people that we can still we can stop the run, and we're not the same team as we was last year.
I've heard several players talk about the rushing defense is totally different this year under Keith Patterson. What's the difference from last year with Patterson in charge?
I just think it's a mentality deal. We know that last year we failed to stop the run. So one thing we do all the time in practice, we do this drill called like 907 inside run, and doing that every day. And I think that gave our team a mentality to stop the run and even run the ball as well. So I think that's why everything's happening where it's going right now.
Wally, can you talk a little bit about your experience here at Utah State? You were involved in the accident that the guys were in out there at one time in your life, and there, and what it's been like for you in this career at Utah State to play and go along and stuff.
It's been a grateful opportunity. My freshman redshirt year, that in 2015 in June, right before the season started, I had gotten in a car accident with Travis Seafelt, Edmund, John Taylor, and his girlfriend, and it made me appreciate life more. It made me become a better man, and it made me more closer to God, and it made me be more grateful for this opportunity that God gave me to play at Utah State and play for the Aggie Brotherhood.
Did you have to overcome quite a bit physically from that? Did you?
Definitely. That 2015 season, I couldn't play because I had a fractured pelvis, and it affected me for almost 2 years. So it did affect me a lot physically, but I'm fine now.
Was it even still a little bit of a factor into last year?
No.
Not by then. It was.
No, it was done by then, but it went into kind of like the 2016 season a little bit, but I'm fine now.
What do you remember from that day?
Actually, I remember everything, everything before that accident, but everything after the accident I don't remember. Like I remember, we went to one of our teammate house, Jordan Nielsen house, to shoot some guns in the air. We rode some horses, went farming, and it was a great time. But once we was going back to Jordan Nielsen house, we got in a car accident, and I literally don't remember anything after that until waking up in the hospital.
Looking at some of the pictures, how fortunate do you feel to be talking to us today, playing the game you love?
I'm really fortunate. I'm really grateful. I honestly don't know why God kept me here, and then looking from the pictures, I don't know how I'm still alive, but I'm really grateful for the opportunity that God gave me to still be here and play the game that I love.
How long were you in the hospital?
Just 3 days.
Oh, okay. You were okay with the pelvis was the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last week during this press conference, Coach Wells said your game against Michigan State was the best he's seen you played in the Utah State uniform. You followed that up with another nice game against New Mexico State. How much does that come down to just the stride that you've made and you being a senior and just really wanting to go out with a bang your last season?
One thing that I've been trying to do this year is just be selfless, not worry about myself, not try to worry about individual goals. I try to worry about what can I do for the team to be better for the team and the team concept. For instance, like me, I watch more film. I sacrifice a lot more than I did last year, and it's really paying off individually, but at the same time, I'm doing it in a team concept.
I just looked at the stats of Tennessee Tech. Their quarterback's about one of their best runners. I mean, do you see that in film, or do you see what they try to do with him?
Yes, I think the biggest threat. I mean, I haven't watched too much film on them yet, but what I've seen, I think the biggest threat on their offense is their quarterback. He likes to get out the pocket, so I think one thing we're going to emphasize on, like we did the previous week, is contain the QB.
What changes do you have to make in a schedule? I mean, this is a very short week. You play on Thursday night, coming off Saturday night. What changes do you have to make in your, I guess, personal schedule, if you will, like with regards to getting ready for another game on Thursday night?
I don't think we got to change too much. I just think we don't have that much time to do like what we did last week, is to have a Monday practice, a Tuesday practice. We're like in the end of the week, so now we gotta prepare a little bit faster, watch film, like for instance today, like yesterday and stuff like that, so we can be prepared for Thursday.
As an offensive perspective, as I said once before, I believe we didn't play our best game. We were a little sloppy, but the best thing that comes out of that game is we put up 60 points, and we have a lot of self-inflicting wounds, shooting ourselves in the foot. And there's a lot of things we can correct to be on the road to success and have more success as an offense.
You go through these things, Gerald, it seems like you're out there the first series and maybe early, and then it's kind of like we don't see you again for a while. Is that a planned way that they play the running backs, or what's going on?
Well, our coaches have strategic plans on what they think we should do at certain times in the game, and you just got to trust your coaches and with the substitutions and how they handle that stuff. So that's all I think about that.
Mm-hmm. Is there certain packages they feel like you're better at the way they're going to play? Do you think that's?
Yes, with different backs we have different styles. So there are certain plays that complement other backs better than me or Thompson or Toro. So they do their best to put us in where we fit.
What's been the biggest thing when you move to running back and playing there? Has it been more of the protection type stuff you have to do? Or, I mean, because probably receiving part is easy for you, and running the ball probably when you get it is easier. Is that the biggest part of it?
Learning protection. You got to learn how to read the defense. You got to know if a safety is stacked over a backer or stuff like that. You know that backer is coming. You just got to learn how to, keep your head on the swivel and read everything fast. Play to the speed of the game.
Along with that, I mean, it seems like you guys have a lot of depth at running back. I mean, you got over 100 yards. Darwin came in, almost got 100 yards, and then El Toro made some really good plays as well. Just talk about the depth in that running back room.
Well, every guy is gifted in their own way. Like I said, we have different styles. I learn from all of our backs, even the ones that get the least amount of reps. We all can contribute to winning, as we did against New Mexico State. So,
what are some of the things that you were talking about how you needed to fix some things on offense from the New Mexico State game? What are some of the things that you really would like to fine-tune as an offense this week?
I don't want any penalties. Penalties before the snap. Pre-snap penalties are very dangerous to a successful offense. So we got to learn how to stay in the ground, not jump off sides. We got to learn how to play physical but be fair at the same time and smart. No holding penalties or anything like that. We got to catch the ball a lot more better, play catch with the quarterback and the receivers. Running backs, we got to hold on to the ball. Protection is the most important thing, protecting that ball, and we got to keep our quarterback off the ground.
What's your week like playing a game on Thursday instead of Saturday? What does that do to you, or what do you feel about that?
Personally, it doesn't change anything. The mindset is always to win. It doesn't change anything. It just comes quicker. The game just comes quicker, that's all.
You look at any film of their defense, they gave up over 500 yards in rushing to their last team.
Oh man, I mean, you gotta think about it as, they're still humans. It's still bodies there. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go in there thinking like we're just gonna smash. You gotta respect your opponent, but you don't have to fear them. You have to understand that anybody is beatable. What we did last week does not matter. It's all about who goes out and play that day and who plays their best game, and that's all that matters.
So you think overall that mentality last week of, hey, we're going to improve, it's all about us and all that, rather than the revenge game against New Mexico State, all that worked pretty well. Do you think the way you guys handled that?
Yes, I believe we handled it well. It's all, it's do your job. DODGE is a little acronym we like to say. Do your job. If you do your job, then everything will take care of itself. The win will take care of itself. The stats, everything. You just do your job.
Okay, really proud of our players for how they performed Saturday night. It was good. There's a lot to clean up, a lot to be very, for the players, I think, to be very openly critical of themselves and try to hold themselves to a high standard. I thought we played pretty good on defense. All the takeaways are a major plus. The sacks, the TFLs, those were good. The yards per carry, we held them down pretty good, got a goal there. But just overall, still some communication issues, still some alignment issues. Didn't get as many 3 and outs as we wanted, so there's a lot to clean up. Offensively, I think there was some back and forth to a rhythm and not being in a rhythm. It doesn't overly concern me, but I thought we played average on offense. I thought we ran the ball very well. I thought our O-line did a nice job. I thought both our backs played really well. Darwin and Gerald Bright. El Toro got in there and ran the ball well. But we were just okay on the perimeter blocking. We dropped a few balls. We missed a couple passes. We gave up a couple hits in the pass protection game. So certainly, trust me on this, there's a lot to clean up and be better at. And I think our players want us to coach them hard, and we'll certainly do that. Now, on the flip side, I think we played excellent in special teams. Really, really good. Obviously, the field goal team and the performance of Dominic Eberle, which, by the way, congratulations to him, Mountain West Player of the Week, and Aaron Wade as well. So big props to both of those guys. But the field goal team did a phenomenal job. I thought the kickoff return team, not just with the touchdown, but with the other return, did a nice job. Got a lot of knockdowns. Punt return, Jordan Nathan's done a really nice job. We've done a good job of holding guys up. And then, I'll share with you guys kind of what I shared last night in the team meeting. We had 8 guys play 20-plus snaps in the special teams game alone, just in this special teams portion of the game. We had another 5 guys play 14 or more. So you got 13 guys on your team that played 14 snaps or more in special teams, in addition to offense and defense. And a handful of those guys were starters on offense and defense. That's the glue of our team. That, to me, epitomizes Utah State football and the buy-in in terms of special teams and how we're going to play. And I was really proud of those guys, and I thought we did a nice job. Now, and in saying that, there's some penalties we got to clean up in special teams, and there were probably a couple penalties that should have and could have been called. So a lot's to point out as we go into this week. It's a short week, Tennessee Tech. As I look at them, I like their freshman quarterback. I think he's got a little moxie to him. He looks like, to me, he's tough, durable kid that throws a very catchable football. The back has done some nice job, nice stuff running the ball. Then I think on defense, they're strong up the middle. They got some big, good-looking bodies. The 2 D tackles, the 2 linebackers, both safeties. You look at them up the middle, and they're physical, well put together guys, and run to the ball well. But this is a short week, and for us to come off a late game, Saturday night, and to have an abbreviated practice schedule and meeting schedules and all that, this will end up being a lot about us and our preparation, how our players handle it, how our coaches handle it, and how we prepare our guys, and our guys really buying in to moving right on to the next game and the next opportunity and a chance to be just 1-0 this week. And that's all our guys are worried about, get to Thursday night and find a way to be 1-0. And so that challenge has been laid out and detailed out, and our guys are already on to Tennessee Tech, and watching their tape last night, and certainly been a bunch in the complex this morning. So go ahead and open it up with any questions, and Al, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I was going to ask you about Dominic Eberle, because I remember the first year he was around here, Stella Thompson was here and he was kicking and all of that. Did you ever, I mean, really, I don't know if it's a fair question, did you ever really anticipate he'd be this good? I mean, you know?
I did not anticipate it, but I can't honestly say that to answer that direct question, I can't say any of us anticipated. But the neat thing about Dom is he is such a driven young man. He's structured. His life is structured. The guy is, I said it the other night, he's a grinder. Kind of laughed at myself when I said that. I mean, a little kicker from Germany, a grinder. But the guy, he lifts, he kicks. I mean, he studies his tape. Just the way he acts in the off season, that kind of gives me a little bit of that, adjective to use with him. The other thing that you kind of think of when he came here as a walk-on, I mean, the guy's waiting tables at a restaurant, and he's working the hours he's working in here, and he's making ends meet, paying for his school, and that's all before he won the job. And then we made him come into training camp last year. He probably won the job in the spring. We made him re-win it again in training camp, and then I finally awarded him a scholarship, and then he went out and made me look smart. I had a really good season, and he had a really good season. And then he's obviously started off very hot and doing a nice job. But the guy is, he doesn't take pats on the back. He doesn't need people to tweet at him because he doesn't look at it anyway. He just is a driven guy, and he cares about being great, cares about being a great teammate, and just to see the reaction of our guys towards him is, I think, kind of priceless, to be honest with you, because kickers can kind of alienate themselves at times. Some of that's the nature of the position because of how they practice and how we practice them, and that's very, very natural. And I'm not saying all of them do, but he is just involved in so much stuff with our guys, and I think that's why you see a genuine care and friendship among our guys and their reaction to his success.
Is the connection of his kicking coach, Brad Bond, to Utah State why he came here?
I think it was part of the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. He broke some of Brad's records too. That's kind of neat to see. Yeah.
Now, did Brad reach out to you about him?
Yeah. I've had a connect. Obviously, Brad and I played together, so we got a connection there, and certainly he's done a nice job of helping train him, and has had a hand in Dominic's success. There's no question.
You talked about Wally last week, how the Michigan State game was probably his best game as an Aggie. Followed it up with another big game against New Mexico State with the 2 fumble recoveries, six tackles. What's the biggest thing that you've seen from him from junior to senior seasons? He's certainly elevated his game to a new level, it seems like.
I think the biggest thing I've seen from Wale from his junior to his senior season is just the increased amount of opportunity that we've given him, and he's come through. He had a good junior year, and he's started out, I think pretty hot in his senior year so far, but it's just been an increased amount of reps. I see in him a very driven individual, a very passionate individual about his craft, about being great at pass rushing and stopping the run and being very technique sound. He cares about that. There's a special spot in my heart for him. I remember he's the last kid we took in the 2014 signing class, the very last one we made the decision on, and took him. And then to, knowing he is a developmental kid in this programming, as an outside backer, we knew we'd probably end up moving him to D-end. And what he did in the weight room, the setback he had with the car wreck, everything that he's done since then has been, to me, big time. He's a great teammate. He's a good student. He's great in the community, cares about his teammates. He kind of epitomizes, to me, Utah State football.
this, you talk about depth with this team. To a guy like Wade, you know, really didn't play much against Michigan State defensively, and then all of a sudden becomes a star in this game.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that I'm so proud of our team. We had, I think, right at 10 guys that did not suit up Saturday night that were in the 2 deep. And, you know, a couple guys that had to miss because of funerals, a couple guys that, you know, injured Aaron Dalton for the season. And when you look at, you know, the depth that we had in the secondary, which was very thin, to see a guy like Aaron Wade step up and get that start and to play the way he did. And really, I think it just highlights Aaron, you know, more than anything. The job that his DB coaches did with him. They challenged him early in the week. He met the challenge. He took the challenge. And I think he stood up and did a really, really nice job. And he had a big game. And that, to me, tells you a little bit about the kid's character and his want to and his focus. And then again, I mean, we had several guys step up and increase roles this weekend. And I think it does speak volumes to the depth that we have and that we've created. But I also think it speaks volumes about Aaron.
Coach, we heard your players talk about this when they were in here, but for you as a coach, when you play a game on Saturday and then you play a game on Thursday, how does that change your preparation for the week?
Well, it alters it. You know, it alters our staff preparation and alters our the way we practice and how we practice. And I've researched it fairly well, and we've also had a fairly successful short week schedule the last 5 years. I haven't missed 2 days yet. This is the first time we've missed 2 days. We've been on a 6-day a week. We missed 1 day 9 times, I believe, right? Well, in Friday to Thursday, you know, Saturday to Friday, those kind of games. We've never lost 2 days in the week. But, yeah, it alters it. You know, the key to doing that is getting as much preparation as you can for your opponent, first of all. You have to have the right amount of physical contact in practices, good on good, the right amount of scout team work. You know, lifting and conditioning are altered this week. You know, there's a handful of things. Making sure we get them fresh to the game, making sure we're mentally and emotionally fresh for Thursday night. We're physically as good as we can be coming off a short week, but yet we've also had a little bit of physical preparation. Our Wednesday, our day before schedule, may be altered the most. We're going to do a little bit more work on Wednesday. So Thursday's Thursday, game day's going to be the same, and we'll be ready to go Thursday night.
My biggest defensive takeaway is New Mexico State moved the ball pretty seamlessly on that one drive in the first quarter. Then your defense just flat out took over the game, flipped field position. New Mexico State had -1 yard in the second quarter. So how pleasing was it to see that mentality after New Mexico State, you know, kind of went down the field pretty easily on that one touchdown drive?
Well, they're a good team and they got good players. I mean, I saw them go down the field against a Big Ten team a handful of times. And so sometimes that's going to happen, but I think the reaction by our coaches and the reaction by our players and them stepping up and really playing very, very good. Big interception, you know, at the end of the second quarter, getting us the ball back. Before that, and going down and really taking, you know, he had the 2 touchdown lead, and then we were able to score right there with Jalen, and Jalen's catches right there before halftime. And then I thought, you know, then what I didn't like is on offense. Now I'm not really answering your question, but I didn't like the way we opened the second half on offense. We started out with two 3-and-outs, but the defense was dominating and playing very well, and kind of kept the game at bay. Because at that point, you know, they could have snuck back in with a touchdown or a touchdown to field goal and been right into a 2-possession ball game, and our defense did a nice job of kind of playing very well right there.
Well, you have a 60-13 game, and you don't think, oh well, there might not be that many, but the Scarver touchdown came at exactly the time you needed a boost, because you kind of just kicked 2 field goals and hadn't really finished drives with your offense, and they'd scored and all that kind of stuff.
I thought that changed the emotion in the stadium and the mojo on the sidelines a little bit.
Coach?
Any, let's see, did anybody, are you missing any more guys this week? You think in a short week? It didn't look like there was a lot.
We didn't get anybody hurt yesterday at practice.
Okay.
I think we'll be just fine for Thursday night.
Will you, and you might get back some of the guys that missed the game.
Yeah,
this week.
we got another handful, half a dozen that are day to day.
Okay.
Yep. And I said this after the game. Aaron Dalton's out for the year. He had back surgery this past week.
What's the impact of that, do you think? I mean, obviously he's.
Well, I thought
pretty progressive. But how's Heinske doing or whatever?
I thought Taylor in the Michigan State game. We missed a couple of pooch punts inside the 20. He missed on a couple. That's really Aaron's specialty. So I think that hurt us a little bit. Not having Aaron in game one for that. I think that's something that Taylor will get better at. He had a good week of practice. Thought he punted the ball well. I mean, we had just right at 45-yard net punt. I mean, we hadn't had 45-yard net punt here in a while, if you go back and look at it. So I thought he did a very nice job punting the ball. We had a nice job covering. Our guys did we had no pressures on punt. And I expect Tennessee Tech to come after us. I expect them to come be aggressive, and so that's something that we got to work out this week. But I thought our punt team did a nice job, and Taylor did a nice job.
Coach, the two players that lost their father, you've lost yours as well. Are you able to go to them and give them advice and bring them a sense of comfort and knowing that what you've been through as well?
Fair question. I think what's easier for me is to look a kid in the eye and put an arm around him and say, I know exactly what you're going through. Because I've tried to make a habit of that since I've been the head coach, to not say that unless I absolutely know the circumstance. And this is a situation that I do know, and it's really fresh on my mind. So, yeah, it's a little easier. Those kids had a hard week.